Coach, this past week you were on the road, pulled out a couple of tight victories. Just talk about what you saw from your team this past weekend.
Yeah, I mean, happy to go 2-0 on the weekend. UCO is always a super strong team, and then playing them indoors, only kind of makes it a little bit more difficult for us. So yeah, I mean, we did not play very well in doubles at all. We lost on 2 and 3. One didn't get a chance to finish, and I let him know after the doubles that I was not very pleased with it. And I was like, that's not the standard that we're looking for here. And I was like, for those of you who've been here for a while, that's not the standard. And for those of you who just got here, you just saw what is not the standard. And we're gonna have to find a way to get to 4 singles matches here, to get away with a win. And fortunately, we were able to against UCO. I mean, we had a couple matches where we didn't play poorly, but the matchups were very bad for us indoors. Jess does way better against her opponent outdoors. Benny does way better against her opponent outdoors. It's just the way that their girls play helps them indoors and hurts us indoors. So they didn't play poorly there, but just some tough matchups. But fortunately, we had some very good individual efforts in singles. Eva closing out their number 1, was really big for us to get us on the board. And Margot Renee she just keeps looking better and better every week as a January freshman. 2 pretty comprehensive wins this week. And then Avery Durham stepping up and playing singles was huge. I mean, she's a player who has a ton of experience indoors, being from Wisconsin and growing up, playing a lot in that. And, her first 2 years, playing indoors. So I knew that she was the name that we had to call. And she got us on the board with a very big win and got the clinch for us, which was huge for her, something she really deserves. And for her to be able to the one to get the 4th point, was really good moment for her. And then we, go to Missouri Western the next day, and again, we were in the same facility as the day before. They were, like I predicted, 6-hour matches indoors on 3 courts, and we did not play a whole lot better in doubles. We had our chances to win. We won on 3 doubles, and we were in a hole on 1 doubles, and they made a great comeback, and then we just kind of let a couple games go that we shouldn't have. And so there was not time really for me to express my displeasure with that doubles, because I just knew we had to pick ourselves up and go find 4 more singles matches. And it was different people coming through, but Avery got another win, and Yvette just played incredible. I mean, she had a really, really tough matchup against a really talented player. She lost the first set close in a tiebreak, and I just told her, I was like, you just got to keep doing what you're doing, because you're tiring her out. You're finding some holes in her game, and you're just getting stronger the more and more you play. So she had a great win. And then Elise Gillis ended up getting the clinch at 6 singles. So we're going to be indoors again this weekend at Ouachita and Arkansas Tech, it looks like. So we just got to figure some things out. We just got to get a little bit tougher mentally, a little bit tougher physically, and but again, I told him multiple times after both matches, like, look, I'm very happy we got to 4. That's the ultimate goal of every match, is to get to 4. And to get both of those on the road indoors against 2 easily top 25 caliber teams, I was pretty happy about that.
Coach, your first 3 matches this season, you cruised by winning by the same score, 6-1 each time. This past weekend, you were tested on the road, winning each one 4-3, including some comebacks. So what does this weekend's past results say about your team's ability to come back, adapt, and win anywhere against anyone?
Yeah, I mean, I think I maybe said this a few weeks ago, like, any school outside of the top 10, I think if we win the doubles, we can definitely win 3 singles matches to get to 4. But against a good team, getting 4 singles matches is always tough. And for us to not get the doubles both days, not only do you not get the point, but you don't get the momentum. And for a team that I think over the last 2.5 years probably win the doubles point 90% of the time, to not get it on back-to-back days is something that's never happened since I've been here. And so I wasn't very happy about that, and I know they weren't happy about that, but to be able to pick themselves up and to go out there and to get 4 singles matches, and especially because 1, 2, and 3 go out there, but then 4, 5, and 6 they sit there for 2 hours just getting cold and waiting to see if they're going to get to play at all, or what the score is going to be when they get out there. And when we were down 3-1, I think we were down 3-1 both days, and for the girls to just kind of refuse to go away, and that was the biggest thing. We just had to keep fighting and find a way. And then the girls who weren't playing singles, or the girls who played a singles match and lost, and then had to stand there from the sidelines and help pick their teammates up to get to 4 was huge. So we learned a lot. I mean, again, we're gonna have to go do basically the exact same thing this weekend, and I'd love for it to not be so dramatic this weekend, but you don't get to pick the way it turns out. I mean, you just got to just show up and fight until the end. And fortunately, we did that twice this weekend.
You kind of touched on it in your last answer there, but you mentioned the long, drawn-out 6-hour matches on 3 courts, just weird environment circumstances for especially your younger players on your team. Did you have some sort of message for them entering these matches, or maybe even as the matches were going on, like what were we telling them, like, hey, stay ready, or
Yeah, I mean, we talked about at the beginning of last week. I told them, like, look, this is the way it might happen. These might be the conditions. We might be at the facility for 7 hours each day. Like, you never know how it's gonna to turn out. And so I was like, I can't prepare you for what it's going to feel like, but I can prepare you for what it's going to look like. And you just got to make yourself be as prepared as possible to step up when your number's called, because the way it works is, like, I don't even have to say who is going to play 4 until that court comes open, and I don't have to say who's going to play 5 until that court comes open. So there's a little bit of uncertainty on my part, and there's definitely some uncertainty on their part of, am I even going to play today, or what is going to be the score when I go out there? Am I going to be the last person standing while everyone's watching me and the whole match rides on my shoulders? So yeah, and then once the match gets going, and you kind of you got to figure out where you're going to get your 4 points from, and which one thing that does help when you're only on 3 courts is, like, I can Adriana and I can cover most of the action. I mean, when you're on 6 courts and you got 2 coaches, there's 4 people who aren't being watched at any given time. And so when you compress it down to 3 courts, it does allow you to coach a little bit more and to have a little bit more presence. And then if you've got a loud, energetic team like we have, every girl who finishes their match becomes someone who's impacting the match from the sideline. And I think we did do a good job of winning the energy battle in both of those matches, especially down the stretch. And then I think once it got to 3-3, I knew we were going to win the last match, and our team knew that we were going to win the last match, and I think the opponents knew that we were going to win the last match. And that's something that you exert your will on your opponents as much as you can, and so we did a good job of that. And so yeah, I mean, like I said, I hope it's not as dramatic this coming weekend, but it might be, and if it is, then we're gonna be ready.
And then looking ahead to this weekend, Ouachita Baptist and Arkansas Tech, I'm back on the road. What do you expect from those matchups?
They are both very tough, especially at the top. They're number 1 and number 2 players on both of those teams are very good. We saw them both last year. I don't know if they'll be in the same order, but likely it'll be their same 1 and 2. Arkansas Tech went and won the doubles on Missouri Western the day after Missouri Western got the doubles on us. So we'll see, what that translates to. We definitely have to play better in doubles. I mean, that's just a given. Not really looking at making any changes to the doubles lineups, but it's not off the table. So we definitely just need to win the doubles point both times. I mean, not even just for the point, but to prove to ourselves that, like, we know what we're doing, and that's always going to be a strongest, one of the strongest parts of our team is our doubles. So we are going to spend some time on doubles in the next couple of days for sure, because that's just so important for us to get off to a good start. So yeah, but they're going to be tough. I think we'd be using Ouachita's indoor for both days, and I think they have 4 indoors. I haven't played in there before yet, but we're very fortunate to have that opportunity if we need the indoor courts, which it looks like we will. So it's gonna be tough. I mean, we need to win the doubles, and then we need to win, at least 1 out of 1, 2, 3, and then at least 2 out of 4, 5, 6, and I think that's our path to 4 probably, and that's what we gotta just prepare to do.
Thank you, Coach.
Coach.
Thanks.